My husband is out front. I'm at my parents' house. We're not getting along, but he's just out of control.
Okay, what's he doing exactly?
Shooting a gun in the air.
Okay, and y'all have been arguing?
Yeah.
636 Roundwood. Units are 23 on Corrigan. We'll be holding our position until we determine if there's an offense or not.
I'm gonna get out of the car.
Let's go ahead and move around, I guess, as he comes by.
Here's the bid. Norwood and French Street. Get down!
Thursday front with shot fired. No, I think I'm good.
Good? I think so. I don't know for sure. He's kept rolling. He's coming back. He's coming back. You okay?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm hit or not.
Let's get in your car. Let's get out of here.
10-4, coming up 23 at Norwood. Where do you need us?
We're unsure where he is at this time.
I've been hit. I've been hit. Salazar's been hit. You're good. That's it. Handle it.
Get out of the truck!
Are you seen secure away from the scene?
I'm at Austin and Norwood. Austin and Norwood. Truck is stopped. It looked like he was slumped over. 42 is maintaining coverage on it. I need medical. Stay over there, sir. I just got shot, sir. Stay over there. No! Maintain coverage.
Switch me.
Yeah.
Stay with him.
Where is he?
He's up ahead. He's on my car.
Okay.
Take me to the hospital.
I got you. 25 to 42.
This is the type of thing as an officer that's going to save your life, and that is making good tactical decisions. If you're not subscribed to the channel, it would be cool if you were, and don't forget to feed the algorithm down below. Also, in 2026, I'll be coming out with my own tactical gear, so if you'd like to sign up for that email list for when that happens, you can follow the link to the website in the description. I do want to take a moment to clear something up. You hear these officers talking about how they're waiting, I guess, to do anything, before they figure out if a crime has been committed. And based off of the information that we have in the 911 call, and maybe these officers don't have that information, but you have somebody calling in, a ex-wife, ex-girlfriend of the suspect saying, hey, this person's out here, he's basically harassing me, I'm afraid to go out there, he's driving this vehicle, and he discharged a firearm, into the air, or whatever the case is. That is enough information for you as an officer, when the time is right, for you to stop this person, stop this vehicle for a reasonable suspicion and investigate further. And when you find that person or you find that vehicle, this isn't something that you treat in a manner of like a typical traffic stop where you just walk up to the car and you're like, hello sir, my name's Officer so-and-so, I'm here because of this reason. That's not what you do in this situation, right? Primarily because there's a weapon, but even if there isn't, there could be circumstances where you still conduct a felony stop. Or let's say you see this person walking in the street. Do you just get out of your car and approach this person? No. Maybe you stay at your vehicle, use your loudspeaker, put this person in a compromising position before you approach them. If the vehicle is in motion and you're going to do a stop on this vehicle, conduct what I call a modified felony stop if you don't feel comfortable, you don't think it's necessary to be pointing your gun at this person, and that is simply going through the process of a felony stop without actually pointing your gun at them if that's what you choose not to do in that situation. And so the reason that I'm talking about this, and I want to make this very clear and obvious to anybody that's an officer out there, is because I don't want the perception to be that they're waiting to determine whether a crime was committed because this is going to determine how they approach this situation. Like they're either going to walk up like, hey, what's going on? Or they're going to do, a felony stop. Whether there was a crime committed, whether we know that for a fact, or we believe a crime has been committed, we believe that this person has a firearm. And so we're still going to treat that situation the same. What these officers do great is, well, they don't approach, right? Which I would like to assume it's because they haven't come up with a tactical plan on how they're going to do that. They're trying to just gather more information. But instead, they get behind their vehicles and they wait on, further information, basically. Another thing that you should be doing at night, as long as it makes sense for you to do that, is utilizing, 1, your headlights, 2, your takedown, and 3, your spotlight, right? Lighting up this vehicle. That's going to potentially disorient and distract this person, especially when they start driving towards you and they start trying to kill you. Also, these officers, they get low, they get out of the way, and then they start engaging this vehicle. And I would just assume and hope that when we do that, we are shooting at where we believe the suspect to be, which is the driver in this situation. Everybody should be aware that in most situations, it's not a great idea to shoot at a vehicle if we don't know who's in the vehicle, because we also usually don't know where our rounds are going. I'm not saying that they are being reckless when they're doing this. I'm just saying something that you should consider and something that you should know is that you should be able to say, I am shooting at the driver. And I believe based off the trajectory of my rounds and where they're impacting that I am trying to hit the driver. We have taken down aggravated robbery vehicles with kids in it. The other day at work, an officer intervened in a BMV and he stopped the suspect vehicle. And when he got up to the vehicle, they had a child in the vehicle, and then that vehicle took off, and there wasn't really a vehicle pursuit, but just tried to find a vehicle. And so that just goes to show you that just because you're chasing a suspect doesn't mean there's a kid in the car. And we also should not have the mentality that if we're engaging a vehicle and it ends up there being somebody else in there who is a child or, somebody who is not associated with the situation, that our attitude should be, oh, well, that's their fault. They put themselves in that situation. I understand that's what the agency is going to say, and that's for liability reasons why nothing's going to happen to the officer. But on a personal and professional level, that is not good enough. And so, again, just make sure if we are going to engage a vehicle, we believe that we know where our rounds are going, we believe we know where the suspect is, and you still have to be accountable for all of your rounds. As the additional responding officers, or just if you're the initial officer to interact with that vehicle, you have to be conscious of placing yourself in a position to be killed, right? And not necessarily being able to protect yourself when you do that. And so depending on the environment, depending on the set of circumstances that you're dealing with, you really have 3 options from your vehicle dealing with the suspect in his vehicle who is essentially moving towards you. Now there's other factors here that are at play. You guys should know by now that I use examples from videos to talk about general topics, not saying that they had these options or whatever the case is, but just in case you're in a similar situation, is you either can pull in front of the suspect, so your windshield to their windshield, right? Obviously considering the speed, we're not trying to necessarily cause an accident here, but what we don't want to happen is kind of what happened in this case, is stopping and allowing the suspect to roll by us. I was in or responding to an incident where an officer was engaging another person. As I was pulling into the complex, I heard a vehicle screeching their tires. And so because I hadn't like really heard from the officer since the shooting started, my assumption was that this vehicle that is trying to leave this complex is the suspect who killed the officer and now he's trying to flee. And so my option at that point, as the vehicle was coming towards me, was either drive by, which would have been an okay option, or pull directly in front of the vehicle so that my windshield is to his windshield. And that's what I did in that situation. And it actually, as I was getting out of my vehicle and unholstering my gun and looking at these people in this truck, I heard the gunshots still happening behind where the vehicle was, and then these people in the vehicle were pointing like that. So that told me, okay, they're not associated with this person or this shooting. But what I did not want to do is stop and just look at that person driving by me or even have my gun out, because you could be in the situation that this officer is in, and you don't want to be getting shot at side to side, right? At least if we're shooting through our windshield and they're shooting at us, which is, again, not a place that you want to be, because we can't be accurate. Well, if we can't be accurate, they also can't be accurate either. But you're putting yourself in a bad situation. It's not about whether this is the best choice. It's about whether or not this is the better choice of the choices that you have. And so in this situation for this officer, again, don't know if he could have done this, but either pulling in front and allowing that confrontation to happen here, right? Or, face to face, or driving by that person, right? So there was probably a period of time, this officer is arriving, he might have the vehicle description, but he hasn't seen the vehicle himself, right? So he doesn't know for sure until what happens. He starts being shot at. And every round that's being shot at you and you're not shooting back is the round that could kill you before you even have an opportunity to respond. So again, your options may be to pull directly in front of the car so that if that confrontation happens, it happens windshield to windshield, or drive past that person and not stop, making it more difficult for you to be hit. The one thing that you don't want to do is stop in the roadway, stop in the complex, and allow that car to just drive by you, and then you're just looking at the barrel of a gun and waiting to be killed.